there's this common myth that women don't like supporting each other to grow. They always want to, push each other aside. And I believe it takes a lot for someone to pour out their journey, right? So as to also help us to rise up and do better with ourselves. So please, let's give it up to Madam Solis once again. Very, very beautiful keynote message. This keynote message is very wholesome, right? Because she spoke about almost everything that we intend to speak about today. And I believe that before we leave here, would have very solid action points, right, that we can use to elevate ourselves and just do better. So that in a few years' time, we'll see her and we'll be like, because of you, I did this and now I am here. I'm sure it will be a very proud moment for her. Great. So we are moving on. When she was delivering, I honestly have a lot of questions to ask her. And she spoke about rising up from like entry level and then going into leadership. So we have a panel discussion. We have a few more very capable women who have risen into leadership roles that we believe can shed more light on how they did it so that we can also rise to that level. So the panel session is dubbed From Individual Contributor to Leader, Strategies for Growth. And I think this is very important because for a lot of young people, we have a lot of struggles when we are, when it starts the corporate world, right? So you are struggling to find your fit, what works for me, what doesn't work for me. But I know it's easier when someone who has gone on a journey tells you do this, do that, and then it shortens your own journey. And from the experiences, you don't make certain mistakes, right? So we'll be touching on, overcoming biases in the workplace. We're touching on overcoming imposter syndrome, right? And all of that. So I'll go on and introduce our panelists for the session. I'm actually very happy Madam Solis is coming back because I have questions for her. So with a round of applause, let's please welcome her back to the panel. Okay. I think I should have allowed her to catch her breath before calling her back. Thank you very much. I think you can start. Yes, please. Okay, so the next person is in the person of Dr. Hilda Mantibia Boye. So to read her profile, she's a distinguished pediatrician at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and a part-time lecturer at the University of Ghana Medical School, and the president of the Pediatric Society of Ghana. I think we should give it up for him. Over the past decade, she has chaired and worked on several national and international committees to develop policies and implement strategic maternal and child health care programs to aid in the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals on health. This include Newborn Jaundice Awareness Month, Birth Asphyxia Awareness Month, and National Child Road Safety Campaign, amongst others. Dr. Boye is a Mandela Washington Fellow, class of 2016. She's an international somebody. And has previously served as president for the second time. Wow. Has served as the president of the Mandela Washington Fellows Association of Ghana, and as a founding president of the U.S. Ghana Alumni Association, where she worked with the alumni of the U.S. State Department's sponsored exchange program to reorganize and roll out impactful programs. Dr. Boye enjoys swimming. She has made a home in Accra with her beloved husband, Dr. Ablo Boye, doctor and doctor. And they have two beautiful children. So, madam, you are welcome. So, our next panelist is a very learned person. Amen. So, she is a seasoned engineer and a researcher with over 10 years of experience in water resource systems research and consultancy across Ghana and West Africa. She holds a PhD in civil engineering from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. She has a Master of Science in Environmental Resource Engineering from Syracuse University. And she also has a Bachelor's of Civil Engineering in KNUST. She has worked on various aspects of water resource development, optimization, and management for mineral exploration. Driven by a deep commitment to sustainable and equitable water access, Deborah strives to innovate, collaborate, and on adaptable water solutions. She's passionate about empowering others through knowledge sharing and capacity building. She mentors junior colleagues and postgraduate students from different universities in Ghana. Now, beyond her educational or professional pursuits, she's also a devoted Christian, actively involved in pursuing the Great Commission and sharing the love of Christ. She serves as a dedicated teacher at her local children's church, nurturing the next generation of young minds. She believes that career and faith are intertwined, both focused on bringing life and hope to people. Shall we please give it up to Dr. Deborah Darko? Okay, so as we know, a panel is never complete, right, without a moderator. Our moderator is in person of Mrs. Eunice France. She's a seasoned project manager with 17 years of experience in technology-based industries. She's worked at Talo Oil. As she works at Talo Oil as an integrated activity planning manager, she's a manager, and leads the employees engagement forum. She's a big woman. Mrs. France holds an MSc in Engineering Business Management from the University of Warwick and a BSc in Civil Engineering from KNUST. Are there more KNUST people in the room? Yes, so her strong educational background has equipped her with technical expertise and strategic thinking. Beyond her corporate career, Eunice is a passionate entrepreneur, owning and managing multiple businesses. She's also a dedicated church leader, and she also mentors young women at the Baptist Young Ladies Fellowship. She's a devoted wife also. She's a very balanced woman and a mother of two. I admire women like that. So Eunice balances professional, entrepreneurial, ministry, and also marital responsibility with grace. That's beautiful. Her journey is a testament of faith, resilience, and a desire to inspire and uplift others. With a round of applause, shall we please welcome Mrs. Eunice France.
From individual contributor to leader, strategies for growth. And this, I believe, is a topic that resonates deeply with all of us. As we journey through our careers, there's a point that you get to and you ask yourself, is this all there is? There's a point you get to that you want more. You want to lead, you want to grow, and you want to make meaningful impact. And through that journey, it's very important for us to know how we will transition from being individual contributors to leaders like we have here. So we are very privileged to have these wonderful women today, Solace, Hilda, Debbie, to take us through this very impactful discussion. So without wasting much time, I think I'll just delve straight into it. Thanks to Solace for sharing her background with us. So I'd allow Deborah and Hilda to give us a bit of their background, how they started their journey, and if there was any particular accelerator that has enabled you achieve what you have today. We'll start with Deborah then.
Thank you, Eunice. Good morning. And I would like to thank Alum and the organizers for this opportunity. Just like Madame Solis said, when Alum called and said if I could be on this, I mean, I usually say yes to most things. So I said yes before even thinking about it. And so I had to do a lot of introspection, and then a lot of reflection to be here. So I'm really happy to be part of this program. So, as was read in my profile, I'm a civil engineer by training. And most of you who are in the engineering, I see a number of people here. So, civil has a lot of specializations. And naturally, I gravitated towards structures. So, I really wanted to be a structural engineer. But then, as we said, it's a journey. And so at some point, I was just wondering, why are we still dealing with basic things in the country, like people not having water to pot- potable water, open defecation, still talking about KVIPs. It was then and it still is. And so at some point, I was a bit conflicted because it was expected of me. I was doing well in my structural courses, so it was expected for me to at some point you major in the specialization. So I really wanted to do structures. And in some way, somehow, I found myself going more towards water and environment. And so I believe that water is central to development and it plays a critical role for development. And so I decided to opt and be in water and environment. So after school, I went on to be a teaching assistant, so still in academia. And those of us who were doing the national service teaching assistant, it was so natural for you to continue to a master's because we were in academia and we had time to learn to write GRE and all that. So some of us did. But we're also looking, if we got a job, I mean, we'll jump onto that. But I think I was more prepared for school than I was for a job. So I was fortunate and I got a scholarship to Syracuse University in SUNY ASF to pursue a course in environmental resources engineering. And I was so fortunate. I went to be a graduate and a research assistant on a project. If you know upstate New York very well, it was a very industrial area. And so they have a lot of waste beds. And so on this research, they were using both conventional engineering approaches and non-conventional to remediate, to prevent their water systems, their lakes and groundwater, leachate going in. So I was really excited about it. And I think that ignited a passion for research. And so after school, you have an option of doing what we call an optional practical training where you apply. It's just like a job, but I just have a year to gain some experience. So I was fortunate. I got a job with the same university on that research. But at some point, when I got to the state, that was my first time going outside of Ghana or anywhere at all. And so for some reason, I felt I wanted to come back, which wasn't so usual because I had mates who had gone and then they were looking for other opportunities. And so I felt the need to be back, but I also needed the experience. So during the optional practical training, I felt, okay, if I don't come now, I'm never going to come back. And so I took a gamble. People were shocked. My uncles, other people, mentors I had found, they were really shocked that I was coming back to Ghana. I mean, what is in Ghana? I mean, that's what they said. I mean, my cousin will say, your beloved country, and then he had naturalized, so he's an American. So what's in Ghana? So I took a gamble and a very bold decision to come back. So I did. Before I came, had started talking to, yeah, sure. And so I joined the CSIR, where I had to work both as a researcher and also practice engineering, which was really fine for me because I'd lab research and then combine that. So yes, early career. For early career, that's where you build your skills outside of school. You hone in more skills. And then, so I was on different projects, from feasibility for mining, exploration, different things, water supply, irrigation, and then trying to understand also water policy and governance. And then as you veer into more mid-level, I'm still mid-level. I'm not that gone that far. I think you begin to lead projects, different projects, And I think one of the things that, as Ine said, accelerator point, is that for my field, we don't have funding from government. So you practically have to hunt, kill, and cook for yourself and still be relevant. And so navigating funding, I had to be proactive. At my early years, I couldn't even apply for a grant because I didn't have the qualifications to do. So I had to approach senior colleagues, knock doors. I mean, do you have anything for me? And then some of the things I didn't even have the skill to do that. I'll just say yes and then find a way to do it. And then I made sure that, I mean, when I do it, it come back again. And that was it for me. So I started knocking doors and then I'll be called on to do other things. I mean, my answer was yes. Yes to everything. And then somewhere made you a call to lead smaller projects here and there. And then throughout, I mean, we've done a lot of projects and some have found policy expression and international discourse, which I am so proud of, and hopefully things will turn around. But then one of the things is to be determined and very resilient, and also to be very adaptable, very agile. You have to be willing to bend, just to make sure you have a target, and then you have to make sure you're adaptable, you're a go-getter. I mean, it's not easy because for the first 12 years of being at my work, I was the only female in my division. We recently had a female. And so sometimes you're given the little challenges because they felt you're a female, and then somewhere I got married and gave birth. So they felt, oh, okay, you stay home for your husband and all that. So I had to go and say, I really want to be on this. Even when I gave birth, all my children, my first child, I was pursuing a PhD. My professor called me, hey, don't think you're going to sleep. And then so after a few months, I was back on campus with my baby. In the morning, I take him to a crash. I go and work. By 3, I go for him. And then I said, that is as good as it gets. I wouldn't have all the time I had when I was single. So just a little. I finished my PhD on record time. And then others who had no babies on campus were still there. And then one professor was so mad at one person. He said, look at Debbie. He had a baby. He's finished. What are you doing? And so I finished on record time by God's grace. And then subsequently, other maternities, I'll be on projects instead of nursing. I mean, I'll be nursing my baby and still be in meetings. So it's been resilience, continuous learning, determination, and then, adaptability. Very key. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. I think that is a very profound story, and a good demonstration of resilience, adaptability, quest for knowledge, and making a significant impact. So, kudos. I mean, that's a great one. Thanks, Deborah. So we'll move on to Hilda. If you can also give us a bit about your journey and what has been the accelerator to get to where you are.
Okay, thank you. So I'll try to not talk too much because I have a lot to say. All right. So for me, I think growing up at a point, I knew that I wanted to be able to help people. My mother was unwell at a point and I was the one helping her. And so I sort of developed the interest, but definitely needed a lot of guidance to finally decide that I'll do science. At a point, mathematics was a challenge. I had to find ways around it, get my classmates to go through some of the topics with me. Eventually, I overcame that as well. Got to do the science that I wanted at Ebri Girls, and then went into Legon Medical School. Then during medical school, well, after medical school is when you take the decision about which one you want to do in terms of specialization. So, well, I was interested in a number of them. Eventually, I settled on pediatrics because it also gives me the opportunity to interact with the mothers and the families as well somehow. A major turning point for me was the Mandela Washington Fellowship Program that I was a part of with Elom as well. And interestingly, I was in Syracuse University for the uh, exchange. Sorry, for the exchange. That's where I was. And there was a lot of teaching on leadership, on networking. And so that was for me a major accelerator because there I got to network with a lot of all the right people from other African countries, even there too, but mostly from the other African countries who were part of the program. And there too, a lot of confidence boost and the leadership training, especially because I had been in a number of class prefect, this, that, but then that was really the first time that somebody had taught me about leadership as a course. It was an executive program. So that was the very first time. And I think that it was a major turning point. Now, currently, yes, I'm a pediatrician. I've held other roles, and all those roles, the Mandela Washington Fellowship President, the US Ghana Alumni Association President, all those roles also exposed me to corporate settings and how to navigate. You meet different people and everybody sort of, so for those who have gone through the program that we went through, I mean, highly competitive people who are doing very well wherever they are and have been selected. So working with them, you need a special kind of skill to be able to lead leaders. And so that exposure was also very good for me. And typically in the medical setting, there's a lot of hierarchy. So I mean, respect generally will come, but when you are dealing with people who everybody feels they know, you have to have that skill to be able to achieve the goals that you set. And so, again, for me now, being a leader in health for child health, especially, also having trained a number of people on leadership, this journey and the training was first that major turning point for me, and the experiences with other people. Along the line, there have been like major setbacks, major failures, and through all those, sometimes I think I even cherish the failures more than the successes, because those failures will give you some introspection. It will make you think and wonder and try to make things better. The conflicts came, there were many of them, and through all those conflicts, we were able to work together well to get the outcome, or maybe even better outcomes than we would have had without the conflict. So these are some of the few things I think I'd share.
That's excellent. I like what you said about the program that you attended being the accelerator for you. And I think this is such a program that has been birthed from, I'm sure, a similar experience that Elam has had. So it's a good thing the organizers are doing. And I hope today we will not leave the same as Solace didn't leave the same when she attended the program. So I want to ask you the same question because we've heard from you. Solace mentioned something about the mistake that she's made, what has shaped her into who she is. So I want Solace, if you could give us some of the mistakes that you've observed you yourself have made, or you've observed in the work environment that people have made, especially women, that has hindered their growth.
Okay. Yeah. Women, we largely like to sit back. We don't want to talk. We always want people to talk for us. And in my experience over the years, the men will always come out and speak and say what they've done. They'll shout it. Everybody will hear. And the woman will say, you say you should be calm. You should be gentle. Some of us are not like that. But you should be calm. And those things has really not helped women. And so there is a position you are capable, you can do it, but because you just want to stay back and be the support at all times. Always, I want to be at customer service. I don't want trouble and all that. That's what women do. And for me, I think I realized it very early in my career, and being, issues about contentment with the minimum, with mediocre life, like just saying, okay, I'm okay, I can take care of myself and it's enough. Let's not fight. Let's just be easy. It doesn't work in the workplace. In the workplace, we're all employees. The CEO was employed by the owners, the shareholders, so he's an employee. you're unemployed. The only thing is that there are levels, right? They are not better than you. They are all employees. So we should learn to know that we're all here for what? Our value in our pocket. Don't think you are going to be a support forever. The CEO there is working for his money, and so are you. And so we always just stay content and it's okay. It's okay. I don't want people to see me. It's Fama Nyame. It hasn't helped us. And so I always say that let's educate ourselves. You should be very skillful in whatever job you're doing, such that you can speak to it. When they call for a meeting, they should know that you have knowledge in that space. And let me say this, maybe in this environment, but whatever we say here stays here, right? Let's try as much, because just for you to have the reality of what I'm talking about. If you understand your job, even sometimes your bosses don't really understand what you do. Some of your bosses don't understand what you do. You have to keep explaining. And I think I've gone through that, because the role I play in the bank is not the normal commercial banking that everybody does. It's a specialized unit, right? So you have to be explaining yourself. The next boss will come. Can you tell me, what do you both do? And I've answered that question several. I get tired, but I am happy that they will always call me, that come and tell us what you do. So I can go and confuse them and come. I can go and share and come. And for me, you should know your act. You should know your job. You should be skillful enough. Educate yourself. Connect with the people who are in that space so that you can bounce ideas. There are sometimes something will come my way. And I'm like, this thing I can't do. But I have a friend. I'll call. I say, hey, Toby, this thing came up. What do you think? Then he will share his mind. Give me an idea. And I'll go and present it as mine. Smart move, right? So we need to accept. Also know when you know you are incapable of doing something, seek help. Talk to people who can help you. Seek help. And you can read. Internet is available. You can Google, you can read. Don't go and say, I cannot do it. Try your best. Learn and do it, because you can do it. It is just that we always feel, our parents have told us that be calm, be gentle, be quiet. You don't have to talk at every table. And it has really affected some of us. It has, right? Yeah, it does. And we are also doing it to our children. They are talking, they say, keep quiet, And so for me, those are the mistakes. But I think it's getting better. And I want to tell you not to sit on your capabilities, because you have it. It is just that you haven't tried to bring it out. And once you try it, the confidence comes, and you keep doing it. You keep doing it, and you become an expert. And so I have over the years grown, in financial institutions in Ghana. If you talk about financial institutions in the banks, GT Bank is one of the leading banks controlling the space in financial institutions. In fact, there was one session I went to, and the regulator said, everything in here is everywhere I go is GT Bank. Solis, GT Bank. What are you guys doing? I said, we have understood our job, we have understood our role, and we know where to go. So yeah, I would say that you should understand your job, understand what you're in for, and don't stay quiet. Speak about it when there need be. Yeah.
Thank you, Solis. So I would ask Hilda or Debbie if there's anything you'd like to add to that, because I want us to dwell a bit more on the mistakes that we make. If you could be vulnerable, tell us yours or those that you've observed. I think it would really benefit us, because we are making a lot of mistakes. Obviously, Solis has mentioned, because of our cultural background, the way we are brought up, not to speak up, all that. It could be a hindrance. So if there are any experiences you could also share, go ahead. Yeah.
Like the vulnerability. Issues of, there was this time I was my boss will pick on me on little things. And I sat one day, I said, I went to school. I passed my courses. I applied for this job. So I know what I'm about, right? So why should I allow this man's comments to be hitting me this way? So I realized that they like when we talk. They like you to come and say, I did this, I did that. So since then, hey, when I hear of ping, I'm there. I say, I am here. And I'll say something. And when I meet any target, I'll send him an email. When I send the email, I copy the people, the decision makers, say, I did this and this, so we want this. And they will reply. And you reply, congratulations, keep it up. And for me, that has helped me. So don't sit down and keep quiet. Learn to speak up for yourself, because nobody will do it for you. There is the child who say we used to, as a joke, but we said, if you have a horn and you don't blow it, someone will collect it and pocket it. You can even give it a blow for me. Say, oh no, I'll pocket it, because you won't be see the horn again. So try and blow your own horn sometimes. Okay?
Thank you. All right, Hilda.
Yeah, so I would like to speak on vision, having a vision. It's really important to have a vision in life. It's very important to have a plan. 5 years from now, where do I want to be? 10 years from now, where do I want to be? 15 years, 20 years from now, where do I want to be? And if the average, let's say, person in the advanced country has a plan, so maybe they've even booked their vacation for next year, they've slotted it, they know this is the time when they are free and they are going to be able to go on vacation. But here, our planning is a problem. Even a plan for tomorrow for many is a problem. A plan for a year from now and well, we see it in governments as well. That is why we are where we are. You see, so we need to have we need to have a plan for our lives. Like everybody, you have to plan. And if you look at your own self on the day, assuming you're on campus, if you don't have anything to do, your friend can come by and say, oh, I'm going to the market, follow me. I'm going shopping, follow me. And because you don't have anything else to do, you will just get up and go because you already didn't have a plan. So have a plan for your life. And those who plan with those who don't plan, because they know that they will be available. And anybody who plans is usually superior or the boss of the person who needs to be planned for. You get it? So you have to have a plan for your life. And the life as it is, whether you live for 40 years, 50 years, 70 years, 100 years, like that is what you have. And so you have to be able to take ownership of it and plan for it. Otherwise, you just be there. 5 years will come, 10 years will come, and you have nothing to show for it. And it won't be your parents' fault. It will be, even if they were very poor, they gave birth to you, they didn't give you anything. You have life, and you can change many things for yourself. So please, whoever you are, wherever you are, have a plan for your life. The final thing I would want to add is that don't wait to be nominated. Okay. Don't wait for somebody to nominate you or ask you to do something. Volunteer. When there's an opportunity, don't wait for somebody to come and ask you whether, or validate you, or I think you can. No. You should look out for some of these opportunities actively and go after them. You may fail or not succeed when you try, but you definitely learn some lessons which will make it much easier for you the next time that you apply. So wherever it is, at work, at home, volunteer and think yourself worthy enough for that opportunity or to do that thing. But that also means that as you live life every day, find a way of adding value to your life so that when you are in a space, you add value to that space. And when you are away, you are missed. Okay. When you show up in the room, people must know that you have been in that room. And when you go, you do what you've come to do. When you go, you are gone, but your presence has to be missed.
All right, Debbie.
Thank you. So since we are dwelling on mistakes, yes. So I think I would like to focus on prioritization and redefining or defining what success means. Okay, so I think in my journey, because I'm still on that journey, I think one of the mistakes I made usually came. It's always, I think it's not unique to me, is when you start having family. And so you either decide, well, depending on what you have, people have support systems and so they are fine. But then for me, I think when I started having the babies, I was in school, I came back. So transitioning from early to mid. And so I started redefining success. I mean, I have a bigger picture, a goal I want to get to. But then I started redefining, okay, is success, climbing, definitely climbing the corporate ladder, owning the ladder, or family commitment or satisfaction being there. And so, not even discussing with my partner, I started making sacrifices. So for my work, you go ahead or you build the experience and then you get to lead and then progress with the number of significant projects you're on. And then that also involves a lot of moving around. And so with that, I had to decide whether I had to be on those projects then or, be on the ones that are a bit sedentary so that, oh, okay, you go and then bring me and then I'll do justice to it and then ship it and all that. But that counts. But what counts is, the moving around and then collaborating, moving, being on project meetings and all that. So for a number of years, after I started giving birth, I found a way to duck and dodge, being smart, even not really discussing. Because your partner have an idea, okay, you're in research. This is that is what you do. But then sometimes you need to get them to understand the little, detailed of what it involves. Not just being on the job, but also climbing, because even God wants us to be fruitful. In the Bible, he cursed the fig tree for not being productive. And the servant with 1 talent, wasn't happy. So even God expects us to be fruitful. And so I didn't have that discussion. So I was making those sacrifices. When the kids are sick, even not discussing, I decide to call, can I work from home? Or, darken and all that. And I think that was one of my biggest mistakes. And so I had to do a U-turn at some point because I said, no, I can do more than. I had seen, as I said, I was the only female in my department. Not to brag, but I've seen the males. I know for a woman where I am, you have to set the bar higher than the men, work extra hard. And then I was all for that and I was doing that. But at some point I had to slow down and then I realized my male counterparts were moving ahead of me. So I started having the discussion and it wasn't so difficult. I had to bring it to the table. Hey, and so I started discussing and then I started, doing some of those things. Not, fully in, but then I saw a significant, shift from where I was. And then I started being visible. I started having calls, strategic networks, people mentioning me to people. And then there's been a drastic change from then till now. And I'm still there. I've not cleared it because all my 3 boys are still under 10 years. So I'm still, managing, reprioritizing and redefining what success is.
Excellent, excellent. So I think I want us to build up on this. I know we've mentioned a lot about resilience, prioritization, put yourself out there, networking. But if we can delve deeper into how do we differentiate ourselves, practical examples, because as an early career person, I want to know what can I do to move from where I am to where you are. So what are those practical steps? You've mentioned them, but just rehashing some of them, giving us more tips on how to achieve them. We'll start with Solis.
Practical steps.
We want to differentiate ourselves.
Yeah. Because you are a different person. God created us all individually, but we have specific and unique skills. So you have to stay different at all times. What do you have to do? I mentioned earlier that you need to be prepared, like know your stuff. If you understand your role, your business, whatever you are into, you should be an expert in it. If you have to study to differentiate yourself, you need to study. If you need to talk to people who are experts and build that network for support, you need to do that. That is the only way you can set yourself apart. Secondly, if you find yourself in an institution and First, maybe you know what you want, right? You know you want to be in HR, you want to be in marketing, you want to be in business development. You should know what you want. And when you get into that field, make sure you develop the best skill. And once you develop that best skill and your desire for growth, you realize that you are always looking for ways of improving what you're doing. So, like a self-improvement mindset, developing that mindset that I will not go back to Jessica. I'll keep saying that. Now I want to get to some place like that. No. I'm not going to Dambaya right now. I want to get to Abrojui Junction. So with that, then you have to start working. If you want to travel, you need to have a passport. You cannot aim to travel and don't have a passport. If you want to go on vacation, like she said, you should have planned ahead. If you have to open a savings account, open. Because I'm going to open one because somebody invited me for a birthday party in Cape Town. And she's giving me invite as of now for December. So I'm opening an account that I'm going to be investing into every month towards December trip to Cape Town. At that time when you see me, you think that as for Solace, she has money. No. I had to plan and set something aside towards that day. And so, like the question she asked, you need to plan, prepare, and learn on how to achieve whatever or to be the best in whichever field you find yourself. So in GT Bank, I'm responsible for financial institutions. I work with regulators like the MPRA. I work with SEC, NIC, Insurance Commission, all of that. When there's any program in that space, I'll dress and appear there. The bank may not be invited. Once I heard it and I have space, I'm going. And when I go, I'll make sure I see somebody that I know. I'll talk to the person. I'll pick something from that session. And when I come back to the office, when they are saying something, I'll chip one in. Hey, this one, she knows who. Hey. So that, for me, capacity building, attending seminars and sessions like this, where you get inspired and you have the bigger picture of, I want to do this, and then work towards it. Okay? I think that would be it for me.
So I think we've had a few good points there. So I'll just move on to another topic. So this would require some introspection. Have you ever had imposter syndrome, Hilda? And how did you navigate? Because obviously you have grown in your career. So if you've ever had it, we really want to know how you got to where you are, even with that mindset.
All right. So, yeah, that's a difficult one. But I think that, generally, if I look at it, I'm not bragging, but for my age.
Brag.
I like
brag. Yes. We need the bragging.
Let's practice bragging today. Today we are all bragging.
Brag.
Okay, well, so I've achieved quite a lot. If I look at my age, I look at my peers, where I am now, where I've come from, especially from a disadvantaged place or so, I've achieved quite a lot. But as I sit here, there are still times when I feel, well, I'm not where I imagined or thought I should be at this time. So those moments, those times come, but then when they come, I just tell myself that it's still work in progress, and I try to count all the blessings, all the positive things in my life, and those in a way help. Again, the other goals that I have set that have sort of delayed, I keep working at them, hoping and knowing that even though they have delayed a bit, it will eventually come. So I should calm down and not worry at all about them. So that's how I've dealt with, or that's how I deal with it.
That's wonderful. I think yours is, you see a bigger vision of who you should be. You are grateful and content for where you are, but then you hold on to that vision to do more. So Debbie, I want the flip side of it. if you have experienced it or you know how to navigate through thinking, I don't belong here, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, I don't think I'm competent. Have you ever had those feelings before?
Yes, definitely at some point. I think those feelings really come because sometimes you feel everything should be perfect. And then sometimes you're also afraid of failure. And then in my field, a lot of competition. And you really have to work hard to be noticed because it's easier. You can easily be overlooked because you really have to, as I said, hunt, cook, and then serve your food. So I think most of the things I try to do usually when I feel that way is just to acknowledge that it's a feeling. At that point, you have to just acknowledge that it's a feeling. And then you can validate yourself in a way. So sometimes you take time off to look at everything you've done so far. And sometimes it doesn't have to be the big wins. Sometimes they are the smaller wins. And then you just look at all those ones and you realize that it's the smaller wins that actually makes up the bigger ones. And so one of the things I've tried to do is to learn to document an achievement. Because sometimes you overlook it because you feel it has to be some rocket science thing to be noticed. But sometimes you hear people, talk about the achievement, and you're like, I've done that. I've done this too. I mean, so what's the big deal? So I just have to acknowledge it's a feeling because I'm human and sometimes you have to feel and doubt yourself a bit. But you take time to let the feelings go and then really validate with results. So
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you for that vulnerability. We need that. I don't want to belabor this topic, but I'm very curious to find out from Solace if she's ever had imposter. I mean, the confidence she exudes. I mean, it will be interesting to know if she's ever had it. If you haven't, that's fine.
We've all had it.
Okay.
We've all had. See, it is just something trying to tell you that to find the point where you are humble enough, to accept that I don't know it all. And that feeling of fear is self-doubt that is telling you cannot do it and all of that. They come to everybody, even the president of the United States. He wakes up and he's also scared whether he can do the job he's doing. So it happens to all of us. I've had it. But you know what? When it comes up, I say, let me go to school.
Won't go back to Jessica.
I'm not going back. Yeah, I'm not going back to Jessica. Never. And in fact, they've been calling me from Jessica. What are you saying? One of my mom's friends who called, when are you visiting us? In my head, Jessica.
No.
Oh, but just on the flip side. So we've all gone through it. But you have to just remind yourself how far you have come and know that you have the capability and the capacity to do much more. When that feeling comes, you tell yourself you can do it because I have come this far. It's about speaking for yourself when the need be. Talk to people who inspire you when you feel down, and then you take it up from there. There are days you will cry. There are days you doubt yourself that I can't do this. But you will later get it there. You ask, did I really do this? So it means, and that should strengthen you and give you the confidence to keep taking the next step. Today I'm sitting here doing all this. Hey, the next level is coming. You understand? There's a bigger one coming, maybe some international stage. I'm preparing for that. So let's keep inspiring ourselves. The more you do it, the more you build confidence and you become better. And that imposter syndrome will get out of you.
All right. Yes, go ahead, please, Hilda.
That we all are often tempted to compare ourselves with our classmates, and my classmates is doing this. My classmate, but like Kofi Kinata said, some of your classmates are also ill, mentally ill, unfortunately, maybe not even getting the help they need. Some are dead, 6 feet down. There's nothing that can be done anymore. And life is in phases. Life is always in phases. Normally, you may have a very bad phase before you get an elevation. So before labor, before delivery, there'll be labor. Before delivery, there'll be labor. So that is like very normal. So just calm down and knowing that, I mean, God's got your back and that you will eventually be okay. Learn what you can learn and see how you can be better. Just be nice to yourself and be kind to yourself, because life happens. There are people who have the same certificates you have but don't have the same opportunities that you have gotten. So be kind to yourself. Then again, just to add, as women, especially if you choose to have a family, if you choose to have children, almost always it will take a bit away from you. It will take a minimum like a year from your career, because the pregnancy, 9 months, yeah, papa bia, the work. I mean, sometimes some people are even in hospital for the most time of the pregnancy for some people. So just know that it is normal, but also know that you are contributing to the success of the world. I mean, the life that you are bringing to the world is going to be a blessing. And so you are doing humanity a favor by getting pregnant and having a baby. So be kind to yourself, and that phase will also pass. Do your best during that time when you are pregnant, after maternity leave. Do your very best. Gradually, the rise will come. You put in your best, but because your children also need you. And especially, I mean, there are people who are very successful. Unfortunately, they've lost their children. I mean, their children didn't die. They had all the money, they had all the cars, they had all the people. But what they needed most, their moms, their dads were probably not there. And so when the children become so used to taking your money, at the time you want to advise them, all they want is your ATM card. All they want is your money. And there's a time when you will have these children listen to you. Beyond a certain time, you lose them. And so as a woman, you need to plan mentally for this phase, and whatever decisions that you are making, have your children at the back of your mind if you have them, because they also will be a blessing to you and your choice for them will be a successful one. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's a nice segue to our next topic about trying to balance family and career growth. I think you touched on it a bit, scraped the surface. So we'd go on to Deborah to ask how, I know you've also mentioned about prioritization and all that. So if you can give us a few tips, some of the mistakes you've made regarding having a family, trying to grow a career, and some of the encouragement you'd like to give us on that.
Sure. So, work and family life has actually been one of my biggest challenges, really. And for me, I think I intimated it earlier that it has been prioritizing, reprioritizing, deprioritizing at different stages, really. At some point, when you have one, it's a bit easier. And then 2, 3, then it becomes a bit challenging. And so basically had to prioritize work, also prioritize home. And then see how you pick the matrix. Fortunately for me, for my work, I have a flexibility. So I can work from home. So some of the times I've had a very good boss. I've requested to work from home. And I'm actually productive at home. Very productive at home. So it's good to talk. Always go. Don't be afraid to talk. And I've also learned to say no. Sometimes respectfully, you have to anyway, it depends on your boss and then the organization. Sometimes you really need to speak up, and to make your point, and then communicate your priorities. Yes, I know I'm supposed to do, I have this target, these are my KPIs, these are what I have to do, and these are also my burden. But then I tell them, okay, this and that, give me the flexibility to work from home, and I promise you, and I really deliver, and I deliver well, and I'm consistent. And so when you are excellent in what you do and you are consistent, your boss even make excuses for you and then defend and advocate for you. So for me, that's been my one of the things. And then you need the support. You might not have a mom or a family member who would be at home to take care of your kids. Don't be afraid to look for childcare. I had my first child went to school. Was it 5 months? Um, I've had both. I've had people also come in, people we've trusted to come in to take care during the day to when I can get home. And then so you need a mix of, a blend from family, childcare, definitely people you trust and people will recommend very good. And just ask. If you don't ask, you wouldn't get help. So for me, it's been a mix of support, advocate at work, and then trying to negotiate some of these things. So for me,
That's excellent. So I think we'll take the final words on that from Solis regarding family life balance.
Okay. When I started banking, I hadn't had a child. And I told myself I had to get into this job and grasp it very well, such that when I'm taking my maternity leave, it won't be an issue. And this is a Nigerian institution. The targets and the KPIs there are very tough. So I told myself I have to be confirmed and get to understand my job before I start having children. So I did that. Sometimes I may sound like I don't have a problem, right? But I've had my own fair share of these challenges. When I was pregnant, I told myself I will be at work until the last day of that pregnancy. So I was at work. I got to work. I went to work on Friday and had a baby on Saturday. So I had I had this kind of energy or positive mindset such that I am not derailed by things. So I told myself I'll be at work. Pregnancy is not a disease, and some of us as women, we try to say we are pregnant and we are pregnant and want to make it like it's a disease. It's now news. Let's not make it. Let's not make it so. You can go through it. Some people have challenges. Those ones are unique, but pregnancy is not a disease. So you come to work on time. You do your work and do it well. Don't let somebody use your pregnancy and childbirth to deny you of what is due you. And so you need to study your work environment. I know in my company we do our annual appraisals in April. Now, if you are not at post during appraisal, you are finished. You have to be at work. So once you are off work, it means you are not going to be counted because you're on maternity leave. That's it. So you make sure that you have your child and be back at work before April. You need to calculate. You understand? You need to know where you work and calculate your life accordingly. Because it's been used against people. And I've seen it. It shouldn't deny you of your growth. Childbirth should not. So make sure that you understand the system you are operating in and adapt accordingly. So I'll be at work doing appraisal. It happened to be when I had my second child. My boss didn't promote me because he said I was on maternity leave. So they didn't promote. I had achieved my target. I was on maternity leave, but I was working. I was working on maternity leave that I had met my target for the year. But when promotion came, they denied me. So I came back to work and I walked straight to my MD's office. I said, I don't understand why I wasn't promoted. He said, is your boss who didn't recommend you. But my boss had told me that they didn't promote. She didn't say she didn't recommend me. But when I went to my MD was like, your boss did not recommend. Is that what she told me? Because my MD knew I had performed. So you shouldn't use maternity leave to deny me of that. But they did. So it happens to women. You have to plan your life very well, such that you don't fall. So understand the work environment you find yourself and adapt your timelines accordingly. Now, at home front, I have 2 kids. I have a 13 and a 9 now. What I told myself is I will do my best as a mother. I don't think I want a certificate as the best mother of this world. I will do my best what I can do, I'll do. However, where I need help, I'll seek help. Because before I started, my mom died before I started having children. So I didn't have a mom to help me. I have to do what I can do because that job is what to feed them. And that's what is making me who I am, right? So I don't have to use my family issues to interrupt my work and growth. I've told myself that I have to seek help. So I have to get help to be at home to help me when I'm not available. If there is any meeting that I'm required to be there, present, I will be there. So I have to find somebody to be at home so I can be there so that they won't say because of your children. Don't let them use your family life to deny you of what is due you in a work environment where we are all employees. We are all being paid. But somebody will sit and say because of children, they won't promote you or you won't give you what is due you. Let's not allow that to happen to us. And that can only happen by you planning your life very well and seeking help where you need help. You have to let your money work for you. Somebody has to make cook for you today because today I'm not available. I'm not home. And I've told them today I am on International Women's Day. So I am not cooking. From here, I have a program. I'm going there. In the evening, I have a program. I have packed my things. They are in the car. I'm going to be changing. It's my day. So I have a help. I take care of her well. Okay, so she's happy to do the job she does. People get help and they don't take good care of them and they don't come in when you need them to stand in for you. So treat them well so that they can cover up for you. So Rose is in the house with my children. They will eat 3 times a day. Internet is working. You know, DSTV is working. Mommy is gone. So for me, once you're working, let your money to cover some of the costs so that you don't overwhelm yourself with all of this. You end up losing yourself. You know?
Thanks so much, Solace. Thanks.
For me, don't let family life derail you. Let your money work for you sometimes so that you can have some rest.
Thank you. Round of applause to our panelists. So right now we will turn over to the audience. If you have a question, please raise your hand and you'll be called to ask your question. All right. We have,
This question I would like to ask Auntie Solace. She mentioned that she's seen how women going on maternity leave has been used against them. And then you mentioned pregnancy is not a disease, and that is very well acceptable. But one can say that we women, the fact that we get to give birth is ultimately one of the things we contribute to society. So if in the course of if I don't give birth, nobody will be sitting at the desk to work for you to come and get money. In fact, you wouldn't even exist in the first place to set up a company and then demand that because someone went on maternity leave, they shouldn't get the promotion that they deserve to get because they've executed their duties and all that despite their pregnancy. So it makes me wonder, are we really creating a space where people can do what they are supposed to? Because I'm supposed to work and I'm also supposed to give birth. If I've done what I'm supposed to do, is it ethically, is it morally right that you deny someone? Doesn't mean that maybe our Ghanaian institutions should be held to the mark. Policies can be made that should make people actually do what they are supposed to do. It's fine if I'm not doing my work, fine, but I've done my work. Why should you deny me promotion?
Good question. You know, this thing I said let it remain in this room. It's not going out of this space. No employer will tell you, I didn't promote you because you were on maternity leave. There is nothing like that. No one can ever deny you promotion and say because you went on maternity, you went to give, that's why we are not promoted. No one will ever do that. It is not written anywhere. There are policies that protect women in this country. Okay? These things exist in the workplace. They are real. So as a young woman coming up, you need to prepare your mind because, you know, when the appraiser session is due. Your boss is looking at people who are at post. There are other people who are observing who knows that this lady was at post. You were on maternity leave. And even though you have done your work, at the time of this, you were not there. You were not there. Somebody was doing your work in your absence. So definitely, it might work against you. So you need to plan your life such that you don't even give birth continuously. You know, there are people who have had 3 children in a space of 5 years. It is not bad. But if you are doing that, then know that it will affect your career. Like she said, pregnancy is 9 months. You resume work, you have days to stay, you have hours a day to stay back and all of that. There are policies. But within 5 years, you alone. Because the company is not an NGO. The company is there to make profit. And they need you to make that profit. So if you are not at post, how do you expect them to make the profit? And so that is how come these things come. They are not written. They are not rules. But it can affect you. So as women, you should plan your life such a way that maybe you should accept that in 5 years' time, maybe my promotion will not be as fast as I want. Or maybe I'll get the promotion very fast before I start having children. Or so, and I have to accept that my promotion will not come. If it doesn't come, it shouldn't hurt me. Do you get what I mean? Yes, we need the children. Even that MD was somebody's child. Right? So we need you, but you need to plan. And you need to know that you are a woman and these things will affect you. So that when they come, you are not shocked, you are not surprised, you're not taken back. You know that this may happen. And definitely the man will go because he's not on maternity leave. And you join the company with 2 other guys and you see that they are. This is the reason. So you have a dual role you are playing. That plays well. Like we're saying, all of this are part of the journey to get to the expected end. Enjoy the moment. If you don't get a promotion, fine. There was one day out of the week, I was promoted. Nobody questioned you. Nobody asked. But because they know you were doing something, you were working, right? All of a sudden, there's a promotion for you. The same way when you were denied, you accept it in good faith. You have to. So, my dear, you have to plan. No one will ever write to you that because of maternity and childbirth, they didn't promote. Never. You can even take them on by law. Okay? But just know that women are limited by that. And it will definitely affect you in one point or the other. Have I answered you? Is it clear? Okay.
Okay, so just to add, as Madam Solis said, I mean, these are things that wouldn't be said that, oh, because of your maternity, you were not promoted. So one of the things you should know is that in working environments, there are unspoken rules. They are not written. Okay, there are biases, unfortunately. So one of the things you can do is to find mentors, advocates you talk to. I mean, if you go to a particular, if you're employed, definitely you want to climb the ladder. So at some point, you would want to be promoted. So this is where your mentor and your advocate comes in. Sometimes they coach you, sometimes the shortcuts, the unspoken rules. And so when you know some of these things, you know how to go about your things. Because you are aware of those things, you're able to play. Unfortunately, it's systemic, but that's what it is. And as she said, as a woman, the bar is higher than your male counterpart. And the difficulties, I mean, you'll be doing most of the childcare, but then you still need to be promoted. So you need to have advocates who will tell you about some of these things so that you know how to navigate your way through it.
Thank you, Deborah. I think there's another question here.
Okay. My name is Maunyo, and my question is about how to break into a different field. I'll use myself as an example. And so I want to practice HR, and I have taken proactive steps to getting more knowledge into it. But I find myself being limited with years of experience because I don't have some years of experience. Directly, even though she didn't have, I don't think you had years of experience in banking. Yes. What are some of the other steps that we can take to gravitate into like a different field which we are currently not in? Yeah.
Is the name
Maunyo.
Maunyo? Okay. Yeah. You currently working with an organization, right? And you're not in HR. What for me, what I will tell you is to rather do an internal movement. Okay. If you can talk to your bosses to move you from where you are into HR, because you're already in that company. So when you express that interest, you can move there, and that experience will now help you. Because now when you go anywhere on your CV, even though it's the same company, you have gone through the different units, and you have even gained HR experience. So don't look at. Okay, so it's to look inward and get that role inward to get that experience, and then from there you can move out. Don't push yourself to move out. There is no opportunity. Good. You can still you still have to connect with other people. Okay, you need people who are already in those spaces to help you to enter. So the HR people that you are connecting with, you need to consistently be on them. Any HR event, show up and keep applying. One day your star will shine. So don't give up, okay? Don't give up. Just keep trying. But key at this level, we need to talk to people. Recommendation is very key. Because once you are working, people feel you are okay. Somebody is home and not working. So I'll better give the opportunity to somebody at home. And so it becomes a difficult one for you to enter. But if you talk to somebody who can speak for you, then it becomes easier. Yeah. So network and get a sponsor like Miss Deborah said. Get people who will speak for you. And I'm sure it will get there.
All right, thank you, Solly. So I think one thing I'd like to add to that, Maunyo, is that you could probably approach the HR department and ask them, is there a particular project that they are working on that you can, volunteer your time? So out of what you do, you just volunteer your time. So that would be a good start to get in. And as soon as you show them your competence, they would be chasing after you to join their department. So that is a tip you can take on. So I think we've had a very interesting, I know there are lots of questions. We've exceeded our time. I'm sure there'll be more opportunities. Apologies if you had a question, you couldn't ask it. But I think we've had a very engaging session with the panelists. Solis, Hilda, Deborah, they have gone deep within themselves and shared with us, their experiences. And I think from that, we can all learn not to make the same mistakes they've made, and also to know that it's a journey that we are on. We should learn to build ourselves up. We should learn to network. We should prioritize. We should plan. I like what she said about you being the planner and not the plannee, not the person that everybody plans with. So I think we've had very valuable nuggets from this session. And with a round of applause, let's thank our panelists. And thank you also for being a wonderful audience. All right.